Hey, it's Bill Beaudry from meditationexpert.com, and I want to give a quick 10-minute tutorial on the 12 Labors of Hercules. You know, there's a lot of people that study Tibetan Buddhism or Vajrayana, and they try to learn what's this thing called the generation stage yogas and completion stage yogas, which involve opening up your central chi channel in your body and the left and right channels. In Taoism, people are all struggling to open up all the chi channels of the body, starting with the back channel and the front channel, and that sort of rotation is called the river chariot rotation, or the microcosmic circulation. And then after you get that all open, then you open up all the 8 auxiliary meridians. Yoga school in India talks about a kundalini awakening. All these things are the same thing basically. They're even found in the Bible, Western Alchemy, and in the Old Testament. It doesn't matter what the school is. And there are various phenomena that you go through before you actually have a kundalini awakening and then the opening up of the channels. And all of that is pretty much summarized step by step in the 12 Labors of Hercules. A Greek myth does a better job than most of the Eastern traditions. And, you know, I put this in my book, The Little Book of Hercules. It's not very little. It collects all the traditions and shows what phenomena occur at what stages, how you cultivate them, how you go beyond those Kung Fu stages. It links countless spiritual schools, even Vedanta with Buddhism, and there's Taoism, Vajrayana, yoga, Tantra, alchemy, and it's the only book also out there that, if you're Buddhist, it links how you cultivate emptiness and seeing the Dharmakaya realization with the Sambhogakaya, how you transform your physical body, which is what this is all about, and then actually, because you see a lot of illusions within this practice that come from various spiritual sources, that's the Nirmanakaya sometimes. So what are the 12 Labors of Hercules? Okay, we have 10 minutes, so all I want you to know is that all the monsters that you find in the story are based on Typhon, who's the father of the monsters, and he represents the untransformed human body. And on the spiritual path, you cultivate meditation, your chi arises, or your prana, whichever school you want to use. Prana is an Indian school, the way of referring to this vital energy in your body. Chi is Chinese school. And then what it does is it transforms the physical human body, which is earth, and it transforms the subtle body within it, which is made of chi, or the wind element of the body. Okay? And what you're actually trying to do is transform that body into something like the story of Jason the Argonauts, the Golden Fleece, where all the chi channels are transformed. Okay? And as you go through this, you will go through many Kung Fu experiences, and they're summarized in the 12 Labors of Hercules. And the first labor, slaying the Nemean lion, is basically where you open up the root chakra. And the way Hercules did it is he did it through breathing methods. And we know that because he said he had to strangle the lion so it couldn't breathe. And I talk about the exact stage of what happens, what the impenetrable hide of the lion is. That is actually after you open up the root chakra, the chi goes up your spine, up to your head, and then it feels like water coming down, and it coats the entire front of your body and your back of the body, and that is that impenetrable hide, because it feels like it's being sealed in. After that, then you move to the stage where you start clearing out the chi channels and chakras of your body, which is symbolized by this labor of slaying the 9-headed. That's standing for 9 chakras in the body instead of 7. Some schools use 9, some use 7, doesn't really matter, of the Hydra. It's poisonous, and the way Hercules did it with his companion Aeolus is through fire, okay, a torch, which means that there is a fire, kundalini or warmth process that accompanies this, as well as you will, when you open up the heel area, feel pinching in your heels, like it mentions in this labor where the crab is pinching his heels. After you've done that, you can have some yang qi sort of come up in your body, but it's not really great yang qi. It's still weak, and that's why we have Hercules capturing a deer. A deer stands for yang qi, but this is a female deer, okay? And the hooves of the deer still have metal, meaning it's still not totally open, all the chi channels into the feet, and only the antlers are golden, which means, the chi channels have opened up, but not entirely. There's still a lot of transformation that has to be done. But now you're ready for the chi, the yang qi, to start coursing through all the channels. And what happens at this stage, it's commonly found in martial arts, people who do very, very high-level visualization practice, meditation practice a form of martial arts like Bagua or Xingyi, is you get angry very easy. And the story of Hercules capturing the boar and he's dealing with the centaurs who are half man, half animal. They hate man. They eat raw meat, and they basically drink a wine, and this wine actually refers to opening up the chi channels in the middle of the head, which very few people do. That's what the story of the centaurs refers to. Then, after you've opened up all these chi channels and the yang chi has come up and done coarse dredging of the body, you can finally make a run at opening up the left and right channels of the body, and then from the left and right channels, the central channel. And the Tibet school specializes in talking about this, which is symbolized in the fifth labor of Hercules, where he cleans the Aegean stables in a single day. When this happens and it opens up, all your chi comes up, and a whole set of transformations start happening after that. Okay, so let's say you do that. What happens now? Now you can get a higher stage of mental emptiness. And that's the meaning of Hercules slaying these birds, which are troublesome. They're flapping, they're noisy, and he does it by shooting them down with an arrow. That means he's doing more breathing exercises, but he's also using clackers from the god of the forge. And the god of the forge is meaning the yang chi, the kundalini, is coming up, all right, and it's being pumped up. You can actually feel it in the body through the sacral chakra, which is the sex chakra, and then it's pumped up, goes to the head, and then your mind gets quiet. Now that the chi channels are sort of opened up, then we get to the next stage where now the chi is flowing smooth. It's purified. So we get to the stage where he's captured the Cretan bull. It's white. It rises out of the ocean. And Hercules, this means yang chi. Hercules conquers the bull. Fantastic. Then, now that you've reached the stage where your chi is purified, you've opened up a bunch of preliminary channels, he captures the mares of Diomedes. And this is the violent kundalini awakening that most people are familiar with. These man-eating horses, when you go through this stage, you feel like your body is being cut up really severely for 3 or 4 days, maybe even a week, but the most of it is about 3-4 days. It's pretty intense. The whole process lasts about 3 months in depth, and then afterwards, many, many years, it keeps continuing where all the chi channels of the body open up. But this is where it happens, okay? And this opens up a lot of the superficial channels and channels in the organs. It's incredible. Okay, if you go through it, very, very uncomfortable, all right? And then after that, what can happen is you can open up the channels in the trunk of the body, which is symbolized by the girdle of the Amazon queen, okay? It's hard to open them up in the waist. And then when we get to this labor is, once those are all opening up, you can open up the chi channels along the belly chakra, heart chakra, and throat chakra that are along the Sushumna. And that's represented by the monster Gurion. At the top of the Sushumna channel, okay, is the head chakra. And when Hercules opens up the head chakra, that's symbolized by stealing the apples of the Hesperides, okay? Where there is this tree and it's got the apples, and if a mortal goes and tries to get him, he'll die. It's guarded by a dragon with 100 heads who speaks 100 voices. That means all the petals of the root chakra in the brain. It means all the nerves in the brain and all the petals of the chakra. Some schools say there's 1,000, some say there's 10,000, some say there's 100. And the dragon talks many voices because that means thoughts, etc. And the only way he can do that is he has to do Atlas, who's holding up the sky, meaning cultivating emptiness. He has to have Atlas go and do that. Okay, and then Hercules cheats Atlas because Atlas doesn't know how to cultivate emptiness correctly, and then Hercules has the apples and he goes along his way. Finally, once you've opened up the whole top section of the body, the top trunk, now you can get to the 12th labor, which is capturing, Cerberus, the hound of Hades. Okay, and that refers to finally connecting the chi of the lower body, because it's really, really hard to open that up with the upper regions. And usually there's lots of cultural parallels with this, where you can find this exact same sequence of events in Journey to the West, in the Western Alchemy, Atlantea Fugians, we have some of that. The tantric schools talk about that. I really love, this is in the Journey of the West because the characters summarize the stages of cultivation. And we could go into explaining all this in detail, but YouTube gives us only 10 minutes. So you can find this information on Amazon.com on my book, The Little Book of Hercules. It's the only one that tells you how to meditate to get to these stages, what meditation will work to do what at what stage. It'll explain all these stages of Kung Fu. Lots of phenomena that a lot of psychics write me and say, wow, I finally understand what that is, what that energy is, etc. Links all these countless schools and explanations. Shows you how the ancient mystery schools had that as well. And it's all about using this as the guide to the path. All right? Bill Beaudry, meditationexpert.com. I hope you enjoy this 10-minute teaching.